And then before the fight, Anthony Smith said, I'm not just scared of him just because he's a big black guy. I think when Anthony Smith said that, I think Ryan Spann was like, okay, he's not intimidated by me.
We got an interesting fight coming up here. We got Dominick Reyes and we got Ryan Superman Spann. Dominick Reyes is 12-3. Ryan Spann is 20-7.
Dominick Reyes fought in 2021. He fought last year. It seemed like he hadn't fought in like 2 or 3 years.
No, he fought against
Jinh.
Yeah, he fought against Jinh, but that was a year and a half ago. Don't just look at the 2021. That was a while ago. He's coming off 3 losses in a row after initially being undefeated in the UFC.
Those all former champions too. That's where it gets kind of interesting.
It gets kind of interesting because Ryan is not at that level yet, and it seems like Ryan kind of gets to a certain level where he don't show up, man. I went back and I was rewatching the Anthony Smith fight, and man, it just seemed like it was a lot of energy at first, and then when Anthony hit him hard a few times, and I remember Ryan got dropped, and then it was just kind of over. It was just downhill from there, man. It was really like kill or be killed. You live by the sword, die by the sword, man. I mean, and that was a 5.
Really, it looked like he didn't show up at all, to be honest.
But that was supposed to be a 5-round fight, 25 minutes. When he didn't get his way within the first 60 seconds, everything went out the window. It was no game plan.
And he got all that muscle, man. So like, let's be real. He was going to get worse each round.
He was going to get finished. I wouldn't be surprised if they had made it to the second round if he just went and dove on the takedown knowing he wasn't going to get it, and Anthony could have just jumped on the guillotine.
Thing with Ryan Spann, he does his thing where he just dives for takedowns. Like Carl Robeson, he hitting you with elbows, you still going for takedowns. You're fighting Johnny Walker, you got Johnny Walker hurt, you going for takedowns.
Man, the physicality is there. The skills.
The killer instinct there too.
The killer instinct is there, man. But it's just, there's a lack of awareness and like a lack of fighting IQ. It should be a little bit better by now because some of the mistakes he made, you can kind of clean them up.
Yeah, he got a couple L's on his record he's not supposed to have.
Yeah, man.
Then look, Trevin Giles, come on, man.
But that was a long time ago, man. That was 2017.
But you're a light heavyweight though. He's a welterweight now, so it's just not a good look.
Yeah,
that means he lost to Carl Robeson.
That means that Trevin did everything right and you did everything wrong for the smaller guy to beat you like this.
You want to tell you what it is? Because I was gonna say this when he fought against Anthony Smith. What frustrated Ryan was Anthony's footwork, and you could tell like Ryan, he liked a certain type of dance.
He wants you to stand in front of him and let you do whatever he wants to. Because don't get me wrong, if you allowed it, it's going to be a short night for you because he can do a lot to you.
Yeah.
He got some knockout power. The hands are getting better, but he got some knockout power and obviously the submissions. The thing about it is this fight with Dominick ain't going to be moving around like that.
Kinda, man. He got good footwork. He got good underrated footwork, though.
But you know something, man, that was interesting? When I go back, I'm not really so much holding the John Jones loss. It's hard for me to just say 3 losses in a row because obviously we saw how that went down. But the Jan Blachowicz loss was interesting, but more interesting was the Jiri Prochazka loss. And the reason being, when that fight first started, they was both having moments. And at some point, Jiri just kind of realized, I have more energy, I have more firepower. Like, I don't want to say more firepower, but he had more will. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He had more will, he had more pressure. And
Dominick was just waiting.
He was trying to counter, and he was hitting them with big punches. But he was absorbing so much damage trying to land one punch that it just kind of added up, man. But he didn't look terrible in that fight. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of other people, Dominick would have knocked him out. That's the crazy thing. And in fact, he had Jiri hurt before Jiri spun around. Jiri said it in the post-fight interview.
Yeah.
He said, I was rocked. And something just told me to just spin around and it landed. He basically said he went for a Hail Mary and it worked.
And he got hurt in the first round too, and he went for takedowns. Remember, he took Dominick down. But one thing that stands out from them fights is Dominick has been knocked out by a knockout artist. Because even with Jinh, Jinh hurt him at moments, but it wasn't with one punch. He broke him down for like a whole round.
It was leg kicks, body kicks. It was a lot.
It took a whole, like, he knocked him out with 30 seconds left to go in the second round. So like, there was an accumulation of strikes.
Yeah.
I'm saying Ryan Spann, he trying to look for one punch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I don't think Ryan Spann is going to actually land and hurt them. Well, he may hurt him, but he ain't going to be able to finish him. Dominick Reyes has been knocked out by a legit knockout artist.
And let me tell you something, man. And this is like a mentality thing. In that fight between Jiri and Dominick Reyes, Jiri, he took it to another gear, basically. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He mentally decided, okay, I'm just going to apply the pressure and I'm going to just be nonstop. And Dominick couldn't really do anything about that because even when Dominick was hurting him, I think that a lot of other people would have been put away but Jiri is a different type of fighter. I don't think that Ryan has that gear to turn it on and say, nothing you can do is going to stop me. Because a lot of other people would have been knocked out by Dominick, including, I think, a Ryan Spann. I don't know if Ryan Spann can turn that on mentally and say, okay, I have the firepower and I have the will, and I'm going to just walk him down and he's going to break and he's going to fold. That ain't Ryan Spann. A lot of times, if Ryan can't get his way, he kind of look for ways out, or if not look for ways out, he finds...
He resorts to wrestling. He resorts to
sloppy wrestling that ultimately leads to him getting choked out. And it's like... It's
so... He can't take down Dominick Reyes, bro. Let's keep it on.
Not in the beginning. But see, Jiri crossed a mental threshold to get to that point. I don't think Ryan can do that. That's what concerns me. But also, with Ryan, Anthony didn't just knock him out of nowhere or just submit him. Like, that was a 3-minute and 47-second fight, but a lot happened in 3 minutes and 47 seconds, though. You got to realize he didn't just take him down and submit him. Like, initially, he dropped Ryan. He fell. He folded over. He survived. He actually reversed and had Anthony in a submission. Remember he had him in the guillotine, and then Anthony had to get him off of him. And then when they stood up, that's when Ryan's striking. He just throwing these hooks. It was very sloppy. I was like, what in the world is going on? No jab. And then he just dove on a takedown. Anthony stuffed it and then got to his back, and then he choked him out, and Ryan didn't even fight it, man. He just kind of, as soon as he got it in, he just tapped, and I was like, whoa, what's going on?
It's just because Anthony Smith, that fight, he showed up a little bit bigger and stronger, because Anthony never, he's 6'4", 6'5", but he's never just been super muscular, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That fight, he looked like he was about 10 pounds of muscle or bigger than he ever been.
Yeah,
I think Ryan Spann felt the strength, because I think Anthony Smith said he trained with nothing but heavyweights that fight. So he's prepared for Ryan Spann. And then before the fight, Anthony Smith said, I'm not just scared of him just because he's a big black guy. I think when Anthony Smith said that, I think Ryan Spann was like, okay, he's not intimidated by me. And mentally, he lost mental warfare, man. He lost that point.
This is my question. Can Dominick Reyes knock Ryan Spann out in one punch? And the reason why I'm asking that is because the people who beat Dominick Reyes, man, they had to go, like, Jinh, like you said,
You said it backwards. You said, can Dominick knock out Ryan Spann? You mean, can Ryan Spann knock out Dominick Reyes?
No, I'm asking the question, can Dominick Reyes knock out Ryan Spann? Because Jinh had to take it to another gear too. Like, him and Dominick went back and forth, man. Yeah. And there was a game plan involved. Like, Jinh didn't back out.
And Jinh was throwing the body kicks too.
And Jiri, like I said, he crossed a mental threshold to get Dominick out of there too. This ain't like, people are looking at these knockout losses and just making it seem like, but look at, if you notice the times of these fights are ending in a similar time. Are you noticing this?
And that's where Ryan Spann started to break a little.
Actually, before that, my thing is, do you think Dominick can knock Ryan Spann out before this gets to this time of this fight? Do you see what I'm saying? Dominick hit Jinh hard a lot. Jinh he dealt with it, and he was slipping, he was parrying, body kicks. It was a lot that they was doing. And again, the same with Jiri. Do you think that Dominick can knock out Ryan with some of those punches he landed on these two that they withstood? That's my question. But then after that,
I get what you're saying, but the thing is, the real question is,
can Ryan
Spann finish him? Because Ryan started to slow down after the first round, and I think Dominick Reyes, his gas tank is better than Ryan Spann's, even though they both started to slow down in the second round. I think we kind of overthinking it because Jiri is a champion, Jinh is a former champion, and Jinh might be champion when it's all said and done again.
Yeah.
And then Jon Jones is the GOAT. So we can't look at those two fights. It'd be different if he lost to Volkan,
Jimmy Manuwa.
But it's only one thing I got to say about both guys. That's why I probably can't make a prediction. Because Ryan Spann, his last win comes against Cutelaba, Misha, and Sam Al.
Three. Those are the people they give you when they want you to just get a win on your record to keep you in the game.
And then Dominick Reyes is worse. His last win is Chris Weidman. Before that, he won a split decision over Volkan that nobody thought he won. I don't even give him that Volkan fight. And then Ovince. And Ovince, you never know which version of Ovince you get. So his last real win came against Chris Weidman, who was the middleweight.
Well, not even that. You could argue that the last real significant win was Jared Cannonier.
He didn't embarrass Jared. But mentally, argue the same. You've been knocked out before twice. He could look at it from two different points. The first point is, okay, I've been knocked out twice. There's 3 fights in Raw loss. Or he could look at it from, okay, I lost to 3 former champions. And I know I can hang with these guys.
Well, one of them is the current champion.
Yeah, Jiri is.
And one of them is the #1 contender.
Or he could look at it as, I lost to a guy who, he's a champion now, and 2 guys who are the former champions. I can keep up with these guys. I hurt all these guys except for Jon Jones. And he had moments against Jon Jones. I actually think he won against Jon Jones, actually. But there's one issue I have with Dominick Reyes. He fights like he's a champion. He fought Jon Jones like he was a champion. He was sitting back, up and counting him. He got to come take my belt. he fought Jerry like he was a champion, he was just sitting back, okay, you got to come get this belt from me. Bro, you're not the champion.
Because he kept saying in interviews, I feel like I'm the champion. And it's like, man, Jon Jones has fought since then. He done retired that belt. He done moved up to a new weight class, allegedly. We ain't seen him up there yet. But it's like, it's so much has gone on since that fight, man, and you still holding on. He's got the Gray Maynard effect, man, where you probably should have won a title fight, and then it kind of created a fork in the road where mentally, I don't want to say it messed up his career, because again, like you said, you lost to 3 of the last 4 champions we had in the division outside of Glover. And it's kind of hard, man, but Ryan Spann, the Cutelaba win is nice, it's cool, but man, they gave you Anthony Smith so you could cross the threshold. That's what that fight was for.
I'm glad you brought up Cutelaba's name, because Cutelaba was putting hands on Ryan Spann. And you know, Cutelaba has one of the lowest fight IQs in the UFC. He decided to take down Ryan Spann, which Ryan has one way to win.